Okay, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Lovely to see so many of you. And thank you for joining and getting out of bed and rolling out your mats. It's always a good decision once you've done it right. So on Wednesdays, we focus on a little bit of length and we're moving into the lower body now. So first part of the week, we do the upper body. Second half, we focus on the lower body. So yeah, from the waist down. So a little bit focused on the hips. And it's a length day, so we alternate between length and strength. So it's all about lengthening the hips or giving them a little bit more mobility. So we'll begin lying back. So head towards the back of the mat, feet towards the front. And then just bring the soles of the feet to the earth and allow the knees to go wide. And if you want, you can use some cushions or props just to support the outer thighs, as first thing in the morning, that might feel a little bit intense. And guys, if it does, don't worry about it. Just kind of kick your legs out and have the heels nice and wide and the toes flopping out. So, beginning in Baddha Konasana or legs extended pose. And just so you know, we'll be here for a few moments. So just get comfortable and settle into this shape. And sometimes it's nice to have the soles of the feet touching and all 10 toes. That gives you a nice sensation. The distance of the heels will affect how your diamond shape feels on the hips. So maybe just adjust that if you need to. And then once you're kind of settled in the lower half of you, take a moment to just shuffle the shoulders down the back, almost in towards the waist, to help you broaden through the front of the chest. And then it's up to you with your arms. Maybe you're lightly placing the hands on the belly, or you might take the arms nice and wide. Again, just to encourage that opening through the front of the chest. So yogi's choice, whatever feels good for you this morning. Take a nice gentle exhale. And then we'll breathe in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. I want you to do 2 more like that. Big breath in. Long, gentle sigh out. Good, last one. Really fill up the torso. Big breath in. And then just let it go. Great. Well done, guys. So just allow those sighing breaths to really settle the mind and the body, helping you to find stillness as we just begin to arrive on our mats this morning. And I want you to just check in with how you are, how you're feeling. So ask yourself that question, how am I this morning? As you lie there in stillness, nice and heavy, just allowing whatever thoughts and feelings to surface. Remember, there's no correct way of checking in. It's just about building the habit, and it's absolutely fine if nothing particular comes up. Often I think, oh, I'm not sure, and I have to dig a little bit. You might think about your physical body, any niggles, any things you're working with at the moment. You might think about your to-do list, your mental side of things, or maybe your emotions and energy levels, whatever resonates for you. I just want you to check in, have that conversation. And the more we have these internal conversations, the more we build this dialogue with ourselves, the more we look forward to this part of our practice, see it as an opportunity to just see how you're doing and to use your practice to fill up your cup. So I often use this analogy when I'm teaching. We all know, or we might have heard that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. So yoga is about, for me anyway, about filling up my own cup. So then when I jump off my mat, I'm ready to go out into the world and, be a good person. Just check in, see how you are, and then know exactly where you need to be the next 30 minutes or so. It's just about you. It's just about you moving your body, being with your breath. So really reside in that and commit to the next chunk of your morning. Try to stay on your mat, not just physically. And guys, if that means just settling here and staying here and being with your breath, you do that. I want you to move in ways that feel good. So pause at any point. This is yoga, yeah? Breathing and holding postures. If you haven't already, let's start to find the breath. Nice long exhale. And then breathe in through the nose now for a count of 1, 2, 3. And exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Deep rich breaths in. And long slow breaths out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Just start to get into your own rhythm as you inhale, belly rises. Torso expands as you exhale, belly falls, torso lowers and contracts. And just follow the journey of your breath, trying to get it nice and deep, smooth. So we've got this lovely flow of air just nourishing the body. Allow the breath to really draw the focus in now to the physical body and hopefully settle any lingering thoughts from your check-in. On your next inhale, if you feel ready, start to bring the knees towards one another and just enjoy that release. We've been in that diamond shape for quite a while, and then pick up the feet and just give the knees a little hug in towards the body. And maybe we just do a little bit of swaying here or some circling of the knees, which should feel nice on the lower back. And we're just getting into the hip joint a little bit by just doing some gentle circles. So a notoriously tight part of the body. And if you think about it, we spend a lot of time with our hips in flexion, just like they are now. So just pause those knees and kick your heels away so the legs are straight. So this is hip flexion, yeah, and this is where we're at a lot of the day. If you think about sitting down for a living, which isn't the normal position for the hips. Normal position for the hips would be for them to be extended, so your legs in front of you. So yeah, that's why we have tight hips usually. Anyway, we'll sort that out this morning. Let's start to move into the feet. So the toes and the ankles. Again, just doing whatever feels good for you. Maybe take a look at your feet. Far away place that we don't always kind of give love, time and attention to. So just scrunch the toes, spread the toes, wiggle them. Point, flex, swish the ankles. Rotate them both directions. So you start to feel a nice bit of warmth in the feet. Good, and then we'll move to the knees. So just bending and extending, a little bit more of a simpler joint than the hips. So you might do one leg at a time, you might do both legs together, there might be some clicking, this is fine. But just notice how your knee joint is. Can you deeply flex, so really get the heels to the butt? Can you fully extend? Try and get your full range of movement, yeah? Nice. And then keep the knees soft and we'll start to move into the hips again. So this time do circles in opposite directions. So as one goes out to the right, the other goes out to the left and so forth. You might switch directions as well, and just be mindful, we don't want the lower back to lift, so keep the tailbone long, keep the navel drawn in. And they don't have to be big circles, you can experiment with how big they go. And again, you might find some resistance, some clicking, this is fine. And then go for a little cycle. So getting the whole of the leg involved in that. Maybe you cycle forwards, maybe you cycle backwards. Nice. Oh, I'm clicking a lot when I go backwards. Great. And then we'll come into happy baby. So catch hold of whatever you can. It might be the back of the knees, might be the big toes, might be the blade edges of the feet. And just hang out for a little bit here. The idea is to get the thigh bones either side of the torso as if we're trying to bring them towards the earth. Soles of the feet facing the sky. And you can find stillness, or you might want to kick around a little bit here. Yeah, so one heel comes in and the other heel goes out. Your version of happy baby. You've still got a nice length to the spine, shoulders are grounded, tailbone's long. So this is the fun part. You can either roll to one side and push yourself up, or you might want to start building up a little bit of momentum by rolling along the spine a few times. Doesn't matter what you've got hold of, just take a few rolls or push yourself up to a sideways motion. And then when you get to the top, see if you can balance here. So you're trying to kind of just teeter on the sit bones, yeah? And it might be that you've still got the big toes or the blade edges of the feet. So it doesn't matter how you balance. Some of you guys might want to kick the heels out and see if you can come into a version of Upavishta Konasana. Rolling the shoulders back, lengthening through the torso. Or maybe you're just here for 3, for 2. Nice, on 1. See if you can drop the heels down with control, cross over the ankles and come to tabletop. All 4s. Great. Nice. So let's get into your spine a little bit here. And just like we've done so far this week, really think now about the waist down as you do these movements. So if you do some cat and cows, dipping the belly, rolling the shoulders, really focus on lifting the tailbone and pointing the sit bones to the sky. And then as you exhale, think about drawing the navel in, tipping the pelvis, pointing the sit bones and the tailbone to the earth. So get a little bit more into the hips, yeah? Inhale, belly dips. How's the breath? Exhale, belly draws in and rounds. Nice. You might do a little bit of swishing of the feet. That's quite nice for some side stretching. Great. And then when you're ready, push through the hands and let's hover the right knee off the floor and just start to draw some circles with the right knee. So these circles will feel a little bit different now. We've got gravity taking part and a little bit more body weight. So just draw these circles as big as you can, really getting into the full range of movement now of the hip. And that might mean that you need to cross it over the back leg, drawing into the navel, out and up to the side, kicking it away. Just go as far as you can with this movement. And then change directions, make sure you've gone in both directions. And then when you feel ready, we'll just pause with the sole of the foot facing the sky. And we'll just do a little bit of tapping of the heel to the sky, just to warm up the glute a little bit. Try and keep the pressure even through the hands. Breathing here for 3, for 2. Good, on 1, swing the leg down, and we'll do the same. We'll hold the leg up and out to the side. So try to get the knee in line with the shoulder, the waist. And again, just a little bit of pulsing here. Be mindful it's easy to lean to the left. Try and keep the weight in center. And you'll feel everything start to warm up now in that outer thigh. Maybe a little bit into the glute for 3, for 2, Good, on one. So we'll bring the knee towards the upper arm and we'll step the right foot outside the right hand. And we're turning the toes out a little bit here to encourage a little bit of opening through the inner thigh. And I just want you to kind of rock backwards and forwards here. So inhale, journey forward, and exhale, journey back. So you'll feel an opening through the front of the back hip, so the front of your left hip flexor, think of your left jean pocket. And you should feel a little bit of opening through the inner thigh as well. And then when you go back, you'll be feeling it through the back of the right leg, all the way up to the hamstrings. Good. So just rocking backwards and forwards a little bit here. Nice. And then we'll stay forward for a moment. And you can really press that back foot down into the earth. So you'll feel a nice stretch through the front of the left thigh and the hip. You might even tuck the toes or press the top of the foot and lift the knee. Or rock on it, yogi's choice. Just notice how the breath is and notice how this feels. And then from here, we'll drop the back knee and we'll just lift the torso. So reframe the front foot a little and just come up. So this will start to switch on a little bit more, this left hip flexor, as you really start to tease the hips forward now and lengthen through the tailbone. This front foot, your right big toe is really pressing in. You're knitting into this imaginary midline and you're going as far forward as feels good. If you want, you might want to take a little twist. So your left hand can kind of rest alongside the right outer thigh, and your right hand can reach behind you. If you want, you can even kick that back foot into the hand. That's quite intense for the hamstrings and an intense stretch once you get into it. So just see where you are this morning. Breathing and kicking the foot away into that hand for 3, 2, nice, on 1, release. So tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee and start to spin the back heel down. Leading with the left arm, we're going to windmill up into warrior 2. So we've still got a deep bend in that right knee and you might do a few flying warriors. So inhale, just come up, reach everything, extend, and then exhale, come back down. Just do that about 3 times with the breath. Inhale up, exhale down. Good, and then when you feel ready, just pause. And we want to get a really deep bend in that right knee. Relax the shoulders, reach the fingertips. We're super strong from the waist down, and then we're lifted and light from the waist up. Good, really press into the feet like you're trying to spread the mat. On your next inhale, just reach the right palm forward, and then scoop it back and come into a nice little peaceful warrior as we reach back and enjoy a nice stretch through the right side body. Left hand just slides down. Not too much weight in that left hand. You're using the torso to hold you up. Maybe you're looking to that top hand for 3, for 2. Good, on 1 inhale, come back to center, extend the right leg and just turn the right toes in a little and the left toes out a little. Might need to shorten your stance. And then we're going to come down into our goddess pose. So nice and low with the hips, nice and long with the torso. Hands can be at heart center, or they can rest on the knees or the hips, yogi's choice. But I just want you to get nice and low. Press through the heels. Make sure all 10 toes are connected as well. Notice how the weight distribution is. Knees tracking over second toe. Stay for a little bit longer. Are we breathing for 3, for 2? Good, on 1, push through the heels, well done. Come in, come up, and then heels out, toes in, as we exhale to forward fold. Nice, so hands to the floor, or wherever's available. You might rest on the legs, and just come down. Be nice and heavy here. And you might even want to sway a little. It's our first forward fold, essentially. So weight into the toes, hips nice and high. Finding a bit of stillness or just allowing yourself to rock and sway. Good, be mindful, we want the sit bones tilting to the sky and we want the weight forward into the toes. Maybe close the eyes, just take a couple more breaths here. Good. When you're ready, lengthen, inhale, and just start to walk the hands around to frame your right foot at the front of your mat. Good. And then from here, drop the back knee, and we can either step or slide your front foot, your right foot, to meet your back foot. So we're in this kind of press up position, yeah? And then exhale, just come halfway, and inhale, come back up. We're just going to do that 2 more times. Exhale halfway, inhale back up. Last one, well done. Exhale halfway, inhale, come up. Nice. Exhale all the way down, belly to the floor. Same thing, inhale, peel the chest. We'll just do this 3 times. Exhale, lower. Inhale, peel the chest. Exhale, lower. Last one. Maybe just pause at the top, really roll the shoulders back, press the tops of the feet down. No weight in the hands, remember. And then exhale, head down, knees down, tuck the toes, push yourself back to a child's pose, and then back into tabletop when you feel ready. Nice. Okay, let's do that on the left. So hover the left knee, and just like before, start to circle. So you might notice some difference with the left side. It's fine, our hips will be different. I was talking to someone the other day, and you know when you hold a child on your hip, without noticing, you start to kind of put your weight onto one foot and kick out your hip. And even that, you know, doing that for a couple of years will have a real impact on your pelvis, crossing your legs the same way. There's so many things, yeah? So just notice, it's trying not to be critical, it's just getting to know your body. Make sure you've changed directions with those circles. And that's what yoga does, yeah? Right, when we're ready, those little pulses and taps to the ceiling with your left heel now. It brings this awareness, yeah? And then it's not about fixing it, it's about just getting to know what's going on and working with it, and maybe adapting and changing to help you, you know, fix that tighter hip or whatever it might be. When you're ready, drop the knee and let's come out to the side. So same thing, trying to get the left knee now in line with the shoulder and the waist, and just those little pulses. Just feel the warmth start to enter the hip joint for 3, for 2. Nice. On 1, left foot outside left hand, so step that left foot forward. And just like before, rocking backwards and forwards, remembering what you know. It's an inhale to come forwards, and it's an exhale to come back. Nice. Pausing, adapting, doing what you need to. And then next time you're forward, reframe the front foot and let's lift up the torso. So this time we're really feeling the right hip tease forward. We're still hugging the left hip back. Sometimes it's easy to go skew with. Try and hug your left hip back and just tease yourself forward. You might even rest the hands on the lower back this time, or take a little clasp of the hands. Good, and remember you can stay here, or you've got that little twist. So this time the right hand will come across the left thigh and the left arm will reach back. Maybe you're kicking the foot into the hand. Whatever you did on the first side, attempt to do it on the other side. Doesn't mean it's going to definitely happen, but just to keep that balance. Good, and then when you're ready, come back to the front of your mat, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. This time we're spinning the right heel down, we're windmilling up with the right arm. Get into those flying warriors again. This time, deeply bending the left knee and extending as you come up, rebending as you come down. Nice, just about 3 of those, and then settle into your warrior 2. Nice, relaxing the shoulders, lengthening through the tailbone, trying to create a straight line with this thigh. Looking over the front fingertips, checking in with the breath. When you feel ready, we'll come into that nice side stretch. So flip the left palm this time and then just scoot back. Do a really nice stretch through the left side body. How's the breath? Sometimes when we stretch in the side, we hold the breath. So even if it's a little sticky, make sure we're breathing. Good. Inhale back to center. Extend the legs. Toes to 10 and 2 o'clock. And we'll come down into our yogi, into our goddess again. And if you want, you can just pulse up and down this time if it's a little bit much for the hold again. Or you can stay low and you can do some teeny tiny pulses. Or third option, if you want, is to lift the heels and come high onto the toes. So lots of options there. You could even pulse in that one as well. Oi. Good morning, hips and legs. Wherever you are, let's just hold for 5. Or you're doing the full range of movement for 4, for 3, for 2. Nice. On 1, heels down, push through the legs, extend up. Heels out, toes in, roll the shoulders. This time, if you want, you can kind of clasp the hands behind you just to bring a nice opening through the front of the chest. And as you dive forward, especially if you're going to be driving or sitting at a laptop today, let's stretch the front of the chest a little bit as well as do this forward fold. Nice. Couple more here. Release the hands, bring them to the floor. We'll just do a little bit of swishing here actually. So turn the toes out and just start to lean into the right and the left from side to side. Doesn't have to be a full Skandasana. It can be if you want. If you like to go into your Skandasanas, you can, by all means. But it might just be a little journey of leaning and looking and just getting a nice stretch to the inner thigh on both sides. Maybe even lifting the heel. Good. And just whatever side you started on, finish on the opposite one. And then we'll journey round to the top of the mat again. Drop the back knee if you want, or this time you might step back to a plank. A little bit more dynamic, waking us up for the whole day. And we'll just hold here for 10. Remember, knees can be down if you want. For 9. For 8. Push the floor away. For 7. You got it. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. On 1, either knees or maybe you're taking a chaturanga, waking up the body. Inhale to cobra, what you did before, or upward facing dog, a little bit deeper. And then push back to either a child's pose or downward facing dog. And this will be where we kind of just stay for about 10 breaths. Our final kind of posture now, just getting ourselves ready for the day ahead. So if you're in your downward dog, use this as like an inversion opportunity. A little bit of blood flow to the head, nice and long through the spine. You might even walk it out a little bit here, do some movements. Or maybe you're in a nice wide child's pose. Wherever you are, 5 more breaths, just consciously either moving or finding stillness. Just check in, how are you doing now? How are you feeling? Let's bookend our practice with that little check-in again before we just go about our days, yeah? We've probably already started thinking, oh, I've got to log on now, oh, got to make my coffee, got to get into the car, get the kids to school. Whatever it is, it's coming. Just pause and remember, your thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, and that's what's forming our character. So go gently, go slowly into your morning, thinking about thinking clearly, mindfully, and that will translate into all of those other things, words and actions, etc., etc. wherever you are. Let's just come back to meet in either a kneeling or seated position. Maybe drop the chin down to the chest, just take a couple of grounding breaths. And this little bow down chin to chest is a nice sign of gratitude for the time you've just gifted yourself and for your fellow yogis for joining you this morning. And let's all have some thanks for the day ahead and all that it may bring us. Have a lovely Wednesday, guys. Same time tomorrow if you're around. And yeah, have a good one. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Sun is shining in Birmingham. Get out there, enjoy the sun. And I will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Bye.
Bye, bye. Thanks, Sophie.
Bye,
Thanks,
darling.
Vicky.
Bye, Vicky.
Thank you. Bye, bye, bye. Lovely to see
Thanks,
you.
Vicky. Good day.
Thanks, Sophia. Lovely, lovely. Cheers, Jane.